Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining our call today. Look forward to what we get to discover today. I am just really grateful for everybody that's here live. And it was interesting. We had a few people that joined a little bit late, and I asked them what they were grateful for, and some of the same things that were mentioned. Those who came late that didn't hear what was already said really was in alignment with what had already been said. So I know there's just like this an acute awareness of each other, and the perfect people are on the call. We have a little lower number of people that are on the call today, and I'm just very aware of that these are the perfect people that are here. That's what we're going to focus on today, is gratitude for acute awareness. Gratitude for acute awareness. And I've got the timer set for 90 seconds, and we're going to do a private silent meditation on gratitude for acute awareness, and we'll see what comes up. So 90-second private silent meditation. Write down whatever comes to you on gratitude for acute awareness. Begin. All right. I had the option to choose the word heightened awareness, because Deep Tea, that was what you had mentioned that you were grateful for. And Colleen had said acute awareness earlier. And so I was kind of going between the two. And I thought heightened awareness, is a little bit less intense, and acute awareness is very intense. And so I was trying to decide, which one would really fit today. And acute awareness is the one that I settled on, because for me, it's in the minute details. And I want to give you an example of something that happened last night that where God really gave me acute awareness of just the minute details, the little tiny things that are keeping me out of alignment. Going to bed at 9 o'clock at night, that was an inspired shortcut that I got back in, I think, December. And I've been pretty good, probably, I would say about maybe half the time. It's definitely not all the time. But last night it was about 8:15, 8:30, something like that. And I was tired. I was cleaning up the kitchen and I was tired, and it would have been so easy for me to just go start getting ready for bed. And I would have been, just ready to jump in bed at 9 o'clock, and it would have been so perfect. I didn't have anything else pressing that I needed to do or anything. I was just, finishing up the day. But instead, I went downstairs and watched a movie, and I didn't get done. The movie got over at 10, and I didn't get in bed till about 10:30, and probably didn't actually go to sleep until about 11. And I had a headache this morning, and I thought of the the parable, or the prodigal son that's in the Bible. We had talked about that yesterday on our Lord's Way to Wealth Mastermind call. And and it talks in the Bible about how he squandered his inheritance on riotous living. And that word riotous living was something that I've been, kind of focused on over the last month or so, since I have been, in my daily GPS, occasionally this parable has come up. And this idea of riotous living. And I riotously lived last night. I mean, it's just like funny to think of this, that I was out like painting the town by watching a movie after 8:15, when I should have been in, getting ready for bed and going to bed at 9:00, because I knew that is what's going to create the most convenience in my life. It's what's going to create the best health in my life. That's the inspired shortcut that I've been given, that's going to keep me in alignment, is go to bed at 9:00, get up at 5 a.m. And I didn't do it. I rebelled. I was riotously living last night. And I am just really grateful for the acute awareness of the little things that I can do to get myself into alignment with what I know is right and best and true, and the things that are going to help me in my physical body, my spiritual body, my emotional body. My will is what really is at stake here. It's it's my will versus God's will, and laziness versus obedience, and those types of things, which is just this little tiny fine changes that most everybody would be like, oh, it's not that big a deal. You cannot go to bed at 9:00 every night. It's okay. But this is one of those tests where I get to prove to God that he can trust me. And last night I rebelled against that. And so I'm just really grateful for that acute awareness. Colleen, and then Deep Tea.
Oh goodness, I thought, man, me and Deep Tea almost hit the button at the same time. So I thought you would choose Deep Tea. But this morning I got up and I had left some cranberries that I bought last month out of the fridge. And I said, I really got to take care of those and use them somehow, because they were just $1/4 a bag. So I had just bought some extra. And I thought, I had some bottles of vinegar type stuff that had the mother on it and everything. And I said, I'll just add them to this. And then I thought, well, I still need sugar to make a vinegar with this cranberries. And so I made some really strong green tea to put in it. And I don't drink deep green tea, but I do make a vinegar with it. And and so I've just become acutely aware of how things break down and how they can most benefit my body, my garden, my, just having those things in my systems, in my garden, create a very beneficial bacteria that, because we have alkaline soil, it just brings the acidity up a little bit. And I'm just really acutely aware. And then I noticed some other stuff like pumpkins downstairs that I need to probably take care of, and just the awareness that I can utilize these things to the very best of even my body, my garden, just being acutely aware of even how my kitchen is getting a buildup of lids for jars, and I need to either take them downstairs. Just the little awareness that makes things so much more tidy and so much more workable. Just being aware. I think I'm trying to develop more awareness of systems that are not. It might be a January thing, but I intend to be more acutely aware of what I'm carrying around, what baggage is not helpful, what would be best in this situation to take care of things, just different things that I really want. Even the positioning when I'm breathing of my little toes, I just want to be acutely aware and present with the breathing, with the energy that it's creating, the best beneficial energy for whatever. I'm sorry,
Awesome.
I'm rattling on and on, but I'm trying to say it really specifically, that there is an acute awareness of every surface, every little tiny particle in your body.
Awesome. I love that. And there's definitely a counterfeit of that, right? That perfectionism that we buy into because of fear. It's like, I'm afraid that somebody's going to come to my house and see that something's out of place, or, just this obsessive compulsive.
I'm not
whatever.
in any danger there. Just
Yeah.
thought I'd share that.
Thanks, Colleen. But yeah, that is what it's all about, is just those, what is one little fine tune that I can make, taking those extra lids downstairs so that the kitchen is more workable. I mean, it's just those little things that create convenience and create more surface to be able to create from. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Deepti.
I was still on the heightened awareness, but Vaileen, when you were speaking, I got a new awareness of the acute awareness. So I'm going to like merge both and, speak about them, but
Sure.
starting with the heightened awareness first. I really think that, if we want to understand we are making causes each and every single day. So if you want to understand the causes that existed in the past, we have to look at the results that are manifesting in the present. And that understanding, if you have, you want to make sure the causes you are making today are going to be resulted and manifested in the future. So a role like some factory, like a cheese factory or a chocolate factory, came into my visual, and I was like, how they have that automatic drop of that cheese, and then that block goes further and there's another drop of the cheese, and that sleigh of line keeps going. So every cause, every action, every thought you're going to like put in the circuit today is going to manifest in the future. So the heightened awareness is really important right now, because if you have the heightened awareness of what you are installing or what you're putting into the circuit is going to come back around as a form of karma sooner or later. So that's the heightened awareness part. And the more heightened awareness you have, because then you are not moving on autopilot, right? So if you're not moving on autopilot and you have heightened awareness of what you are putting causes as of today, you start connecting with your spirit. And the moment you do that, there will be that acute awareness that keeps those soul impulses, but they don't come in that heightened awareness manner. We have to be in the heightened awareness manner to get those subtle awarenesses or those guidances or those inspirations. They don't come in a very fashion manner that you understand them very clearly. So the impulses, the soul impulses, keep coming in that acute awareness for us to understand them. So I think they really merge together. If you have heightened awareness of what you're putting and what you're doing, you can start receiving those acute awarenesses from these spirit.
Beautiful. Yes, absolutely. That heightened awareness is sort of like our natural operating system. Because, like you said, those acute awarenesses, they don't come as a 2x4. Like if I wasn't already heightenedly aware of fine tuning that needed to happen in my life, if I went to bed at 10:30, if I went to bed at midnight, it was like, no big deal. Nothing, I would not have been aware of that at all. It just would have been, yeah, let's watch a movie. No big deal. Let's go to bed, at this time, get up at whatever time. I'm not heightenedly is not a word, but I'm not aware at that heightened sense. But we have to have that heightened awareness so that we're like looking for specific things that can be changed in just a small fashion to be able to, to help us be more spiritually and physically in tune or in alignment.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you. Um, okay. Looks like we just had a note in the chat about what are we focusing on, because someone came in late. Thank you. I appreciate you guys helping her. And here comes someone else too. So make sure she knows. All right. Betsy.
So it was interesting because usually I focus on all the positives, all the good and all this. And I kind of went to the other side. If you don't have acute awareness, it's kind of like you're just floating, you're a couch potato, you're just kind of okay, all is well, I'm good. I mean, a lot of times, even in our language today, we say, I'm good. And it's like, that doesn't mean, you're saying, I don't need what you just offered. Like, I'm good. And it's like, well, you're not really totally good, but you just don't want that thing, And so it's just a different way to say things. And then even in kind of a sarcastic way, well, whatever floats your boat. And I thought of people just adrift, just out there floating and letting the water carry them to and fro. And as we don't pay attention, as we even stray from the Lord or don't listen to the whisperings of the Spirit, they just get softer and softer and softer based on the decisions that we make, based on not choosing to make moves or make a difference, or, we're allowing these things to atrophy. So then on the positive side, I started thinking about, the focus, and, acute is like that severe focus, that beautiful pinpointed awareness. And so the highest of that is acute awareness of God's voice in our life, of God's direction, of, what do we have to do? And then I came to, there's that old saying that, oh, she has her blinders on. And blinders are those things that you put on horses so that they don't get distracted from the left or the right, and that they just see the road ahead of them and that they're not spooked. And so it's really to care for the horse and to lead the horse into peace and comfort, rather than a controlling thing. And so now it kind of means like, oh, well, she just doesn't, pay attention to all the things that I know, and she's just blind. But I think that as we look at the word, having blinders on, that when we choose to wear good spiritual blinders, that we focus, it's like your whole series that you did, Wileen, the eyes on Christ. When we have our eyes on Christ, they can't be looking to and fro to all these different distractions. And so it's like this beautiful spiritual blinder and focus. And so, when we come around and when we make these good choices to have spiritual acute awareness and wear our beautiful blinders, then we lose room for all of the distractions, all of the yuck and muck in the world. And then when it does come up, we can just shift our eyes back to Christ and refocus and get back into this acute. And the more we practice that, the more we're aware and receptive and we open up. And I mean, so I have a whole new voice for, I love that my blinders are on. It's awesome. It gives me that acute awareness. Yeah.
I love that hyper focus that comes. And I wrote that too. I wrote the word choose because, a lot of times that we judge that, or like, blind faith or something like that. But, I get up in the morning, I don't know what I'm going to do that day. And, people might think, well, that's kind of, flighty or whatever. But I don't know, because I haven't done my daily GPS yet. But as soon as I do my daily GPS, then I know what I'm doing. And I love that, choosing to have that acute awareness and be hyper focused and just allow everything else to be out there, but it's not, distracting me. Thank you. Laura.
So, I love everything that's been said. That's awesome. And I had a completely different perspective as well. So when I think about acute awareness, first of all, the word acute means like there's a certain connotation of it that's different than the one we've been looking at. And that is that it's short and like in the medical,
Mm-hmm.
profession, it's short and sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like there's a suddenness to it, so acute pain versus chronic pain. So it's short term and sudden. And so as I was thinking about that, and then both senses of the word acute, and with awareness, being really, really, really super aware of of things is actually, I have found it to be challenging because, people who are like, very sensitive, right, to surroundings, to other people's feelings, very empathic, empathetic, you just pick up on everything. And I am. And so I can walk down the street and look in somebody's eyes and feel their pain, and, I love what Betsy said about blinders. But at the same time, for me, and there's a training that goes with that, which is awesome. And I do that. But as far as that particular awareness goes, that awareness that I was focusing on, which is different from that one that she was talking about, I can't shut it down without closing my heart. And it can be really painful because there's a lot of pain in the world. But then to be grateful for it, I have been grateful for it, and I am grateful for it because it is a gift. Okay. It's a gift that allows me to see what needs to be prayed for. I see the need in the world, and I see them very intensely. And, to shut it down, like I said, was to close my heart. So I can't do that. I just need to respond to it when it comes through. It's God's direction. It's something, it's like, okay, this is something I want you to work on i.e. prayer or reaching out to a person or whatever that might be. And it reminds me of a situation that I had over the last few months in my yard. So on Christmas Day, my son is standing at the window and he's looking out and he's talking to his grandma on the phone. And he's like, "Oh, a hawk just got one of our squirrels." Now, the hunter in my son, he doesn't actually hunt, which, he could, but he doesn't. But, it's that hunter instinct. He was like, "Wow, that's cool." Me, total opposite. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my poor squirrel." And so I like ran out to the squirrel with a little towel, and I comforted her in her last moments. She died. And the hawk didn't even take her, because she was too big, I guess. But anyway, so that happened on Christmas Day. And then just a few days ago, another one of my squirrels got killed right under the bird feeder. Well, see, I have lost squirrels and, birds throughout the last 10 years that I've been living here and haven't paid any attention. I didn't know what was happening. But now I have this acute awareness that there's a hawk hunting in my yard. Okay. And that acute awareness causes me some pain, but it also is an opportunity, right? Because I love to care for my animals. And I understand the whole circle of life thing, that they need to be, we can't have too many squirrels. And yes, the hawk needs to eat. I get all of this. Okay. But I still suffer for the one that's suffering. Right. And that's the bottom line. I suffer for those who suffer. I suffer with them. I don't just look at their suffering. I'm with them. So anyway, the whole thing comes back to this acute awareness of just, like responding to the pain that's in this world with love and with prayer, which can transform and bring such light and love to this world. And so that's what I'm grateful for.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And you two had some things to say in here.
Yeah, I do want to confirm some things. First of all, that gift that you have, being able to open yourself and have that acute awareness of what the need is, that is what makes you a genius at program development. And when I bring, because we work together and I bring stuff to you and you're like, well, you probably want to do it this way because of this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. And so it definitely is a gift. And you have this gift with business. And so of course you're going to have this in other areas of your life too. So definitely, that is definitely a gift. And you're learning to kind of find resolution with, or how you can utilize that gift in a way that doesn't weigh you down, in the rest of your life too. Because we know that in the scriptures, I mean, we make a promise when we take upon ourselves Christ's name, we promise that we will mourn with those who mourn. Yeah. And we're going to celebrate with those who celebrate too. Yeah.
I don't have to work at that.
Yeah. So that's part of charity. That's part of, this thing that allows us to have everything. We are everything when we have charity, and you just have it at this, acute level. I also want to mention, I like, that you mentioned about acute in the medical field, how acute is like what's, I used to work for a chiropractor's office, and we would ask them about what their acute pain was, or, acute situation where, did they have just fall down the stairs, or, was there an injury or something that caused this short-term sudden pain versus a chronic pain. Like you said, my husband has chronic nerve pain, and his nerves are always on a constant, they are constantly on this heightened, tingling sensation. It's like, if you think about touching a hot stove and how your nerves just like flare up, his nerves are constantly on that flare up. And it's tiring. It totally wears him out. And I'm just like, I don't even know. He's the strongest man that I know.
And honestly, I've met him, and you look at him and he's smiling, and he's just doing his thing, and he's so positive and calm and peaceful, and you would never know. You would never know. And that's strength. So I concur.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's, this, when we think about acute awareness, there's a heightened awareness, where we can open our hearts and we can just kind of like be aware. And then there's acute awareness, like you're talking about, where you're just having that, you're hit with this, feeling that other people have or whatever. And it really is, it's like my husband finding a way to live your life and to be comfortable, to be at peace, to be able to feel those things, even if they hit you without, aware, you weren't even like looking for it and it just kind of hit you, to be able to find resolution and get back to that state of being heightened aware, and allow, being grateful for these gifts that we have. And at the same time, be able to live life in a peaceful, calm, orderly manner. And
and when they come up, they're brought into my awareness by God. I believe I can see that, that like I'll go to sleep, fine, and I wake up with a burden on my heart, and so I just have to figure out what's that focused on. What do I need to do? But it does. You do have to. I do have to organize my life differently, because of how I am. And that's part of it. It's just part of it, if you have really light, really, really light skin, you got to put on sunscreen when you go out in the sun. You can't stay out there too long. It's just the way it is. Yeah. And, but that understanding that anything that comes through my awareness is allowed to come through by God, because I'm Christ, because I have that confidence, because I belong to him. I know that nothing can come into my awareness, that isn't from him. If I'm clear, if my energy is clear.
And I'm getting,
and it's true for all of us.
I'm glad that you mentioned that about your energy being clear, because I know we've been talking about this in the Architecture of Life mentoring. You've been teaching about, having your whole soul be clear, all the layers, all the different pieces of your soul to be clear. And I'm seeing that acute awareness is only possible when, or we're only able to like channel it in a positive way.
Yes.
When we're completely clear.
Yes. And we're not bringing in stray stuff. Cause like, Betsy's idea of the blinders, there's certain things that will come in if we're not aligned with God that we don't really need,
Yeah. Because we are so aware, because we're all, because we're open, because awesome. Yeah. We could keep talking, but about this, but I know we're running out of time. So yeah, awesome. Really, really great awareness. I think I'm going to post this in our architecture of life, because this is a great addition to what what you've been training us on. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath.
Before you do, if you don't mind, I know that Deep T had mentioned a couple things in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, she said that she's like,
she says, Laura, you had to bring the science. I love it.
She's like, oh, B2 empath. Then she said, but that's not cool. I'm creating energetic boundaries in 2021. It's because of, I believe, quantum entanglements.
It causes entanglement if we don't. Yeah. And
and that's the challenge, is managing it,
managing it. And I like the word managing rather than like putting up boundaries, because, we've been talking about like, in order to have that heightened awareness, we have to really open ourselves. And so if we're, putting up boundaries, it's like, okay, now I'm open, now I'm closed. Now I'm open, now I'm closed.
Right.
It's not, then.
And it's a focus, right? So you can think about it as focusing a beam of light. Like you've got one of those flashlights that can either be a wide beam or a concentrated beam. And when we focus that, then it's really concentrated.
Yeah. I think also, that is really important for us not to, me and myself, to make the decision, okay, today I'm going to be open, and I'm going to just, consciously go around and do that, because we really have to be at this heightened awareness, almost all the time, just kind of like be in tune, I guess is another word that we could use, to be in tune. And then go, like Deep T says, let God lead you in the chat. She said, sometimes intentions are good, and then let God lead you. Yeah. Just having that intention of being aware and open. And then instead of, consciously putting up boundaries, say, okay, today I'm going to like hide away in my little house and I'm not going to talk to anybody because I don't want to feel that or whatever, to trust God that He knows what your gift is, and work with Him to manage that gift.
Aligned with Christ.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot better.
Yeah, and sometimes He's going to sometimes He directs me, stay in your house.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I get that too sometimes.
That happens too, but you just have to listen to what He's saying, and no, I have to go do this. No, don't do that. That's not going to work out well.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for everybody.
I hope that's helpful to everyone.
Oh, for sure.
Deep T says I talk too much. I feel like I talk too much.
No, it's all perfect. We have the perfect people on the call today. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Just invite you to be in this state of heightened awareness, be aware of any new things that you're learning about yourself, maybe your gifts or talents, your genius, and something that maybe you had considered a curse or a weakness that now you're actually seeing as a strength, and you just hadn't learned how to manage it yet. And just feeling gratitude for it all, everything that's been shared and everything new that has been coming to you. This is all inspiration from God about how He gets to work through you to serve His children. And just go ahead and take one more deep breath. And move into that space of, just choose to move into that space of acute awareness. We've been at heightened awareness. Let's move to acute awareness, and just allow all of your senses to be almost like they were touched by light, and just even feel like through your fingertips and your toes that light is shooting out, and you're just feeling that acute tingling of the spirit, that the spirit is on edge, almost just ready and willing to receive and know any area of your life that needs to be just tweaked or changed, one small one small dial to the right or to the left, just to bring everything into more alignment so that he can use you in a much more powerful way. And what is that inspiration that you're receiving right now of the one most important thing that you could do that would help to heighten your awareness and allow you to be able to be used, for him to use you in a much higher and more powerful way? What's your inspired shortcut today? One most important thing you can do to become a more finely tuned instrument of God. And what's a limiting belief that might be coming up as you're recognizing and becoming aware of your inspired shortcut and knowing more about your genius, your gifts? What is your limiting belief? And as you're coming more clear with that limiting belief, you also can notice the cost. What has that limiting belief produced for you in the past? What has it limited you from doing? How has it limited you from serving and being that finely tuned instrument in the hands of God? And as you're becoming more clear with what that cost is, you get to make a choice. You can keep that limiting belief, and now you're fully aware and conscious of what that limiting belief has been producing in your life, how it's been limiting you. And you can keep it if you'd like, or you can give yourself permission to choose a new belief. And if you're ready to give yourself permission to choose a new belief, say yes.
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 Awesome. All right. So what are those new beliefs? If you're ready to give yourself permission to choose some new beliefs, go ahead and choose 2 to 3 new beliefs now that will take the place of that old limiting belief, will allow you to step fully into your genius, to become a more finely tuned instrument in the hands of God, to be able to serve his children in a much higher way. And that you, your body, your soul, your spirit, your environment, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, everything is in alignment. It's like this finely polished sword that is wielded by a master. Being that finely polished sword and allowing yourself to be in the hands of the master and using it. The sword in the scriptures represents the word of God. Using the word of God and whatever is in alignment with your gifts and your talents, for him to be able to use you to be able to share, to spread his word and his love in a much more powerful way, much more attuned way, to reach people, to really just go straight to the heart. So 2 to 3 new beliefs. And then as you're looking over that list, I invite you to breathe in and bring those new beliefs into your body and allow that to be, just watch as those new beliefs are going around in all the areas of your body and just polishing it up so that inside, outside, all around you is polished and finely tuned, refined, and you're ready for just, you have this heightened awareness and you're just at the ready whenever God needs you. And just check in one more time if there's any last thoughts that he would like to share with you. You have your inspired shortcut to take action on today. And this is one of those tests. Can God trust you with his inspired shortcuts? And so I encourage you to put that at the top of your list. One most important thing, the one, only thing that absolutely needs to be done today. And give yourself that gift of doing that first. And in a moment, I'm going to open it up for, we'll just take time for just a couple quick shares. I do want to invite anyone that is feeling like they need some extra support to go to askwylene.com, and you can schedule a 15-minute call with me there. It will take you to my calendar and you can schedule a 15-minute call. And this is a free mentoring call, and would love to help you with anything that you're struggling with at this time. askwylene.com. Who would like to just offer a couple of quick shares? I know that this, whatever you've received, I'm sure is very personal. And so if you're feeling like you want to keep that personal, that's totally great. Or see, Colleen says, everything is a gift to me from me. I feel so capable of creation. Beautiful, beautiful, Colleen. Love that. Any last thoughts before we end our call? And I do encourage you to go to our Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group as well. If there's, if you're not able to share here, but you get your thoughts all together a little bit later, feel free to share on that Facebook group. We'd love to celebrate with you. Any last thoughts before we end our call today?
I think I don't really have anything major, but I feel like it was just the beginning right now. Like I need to do more with what we just did. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
It's just the beginning, and there's something, it's almost like it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's on the tip of my heart. And so thank you for today. Yeah.
You're welcome. I think, being at that heightened awareness, that is the beginning, isn't it? It's where we're open to receive. And so what we do receive is the beginning. It's the first step. Thank you. Deepti.
Just the last thing I wanted to add is it's only our awareness which actually act like invisible compasses, and that lead us to either desirable results or undesirable results.
Beautiful. Invisible compasses. That's awesome. I love that visual. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. This has really been an awesome call. And like Lara has said, this might be just a brand new first step for some new inspiration that you're receiving. I invite you to be open, continue to have that heightened awareness, to be able to listen throughout the day for any additional. And when you go to sleep tonight, just set that intention that new awareness is going to be able to come to you. And I would almost bet that when you wake up in the morning, there's going to be more, and especially taking this to your daily GPS and just asking for that additional inspiration. We're opening the door to great things. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Deepti says, I love everyone here and these calls. Yes, me too. And just love this time that we spend together each morning. We will be back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we will talk to you then. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love.
Thanks.
Love everyone.
Everybody. Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, wylenebenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.